Welcome to Jatin's Scorecard. On this episode, we look at the preview of the remainder of the IPL. As far as rankings and positionings go, the top four are pretty much decided with the Mumbai Indians, RCB, CSK and Delhi Capitals. But the IPL is known for its share of surprises, and there are teams like Punjab and the Royals who are within sniffing distance of a playoff spot as well. So there is a lot to play for, and I think the second half of the IPL is going to be fantastic because it's just a little before the T20 World Cup. So players will be geared up, and fans, I'm sure, will be waiting for the IPL to start. So let's kick off the preview of the second half of the IPL, starting with the Mumbai Indians. And the MI Paltan have, eased into the IPL in their usual style. They take a game or two to warm up, but this is easily the elephant in the room as far as IPL franchises go. And they are also a very, very settled side with a settled captain and with match winners like Hardik Pandya and Kieran Pollard amongst their ranks. So I think the Mumbai Indians will again look to settle down into the IPL a little bit. I think they were the first team to go to Abu Dhabi ahead of the tournament, so they've had a lot of time acclimatizing to the conditions there. And overall, I think they have the side to reach the finals. After that, who knows what happens. The two players whom I'm really looking forward to, actually three players, I would say, are Ishan Kishan and Surya Yadav, and also Krunal Pandya. I think Krunal surprisingly was left out of the T20 squad for the World Cup, and he will have a lot to play for and to prove during this IPL. So watch out for a more energized Krunal Pandya. MI will also be hoping that Hardik stays fit, because Hardik is important to them from a bowling perspective as well. There's a little bit of pressure taken off there because Pollard can bowl a few overs as well. But overall, Hardik's fitness will not only be important to MI, but will be watched closely by the Indian selectors as well. So that's MI. Now let's move on to the war horse, the old war horse of the IPL, which is CSK. At the start of the IPL, on Jatin's Scorecard, I had said that I think CSK will do well, they started the league really strong, and they're easily the most aging team in the IPL, but also the shrewdest and the most canniest of teams there, with MSD right at the top, waiting for his time in the sun in a game, always maneuvering, always kind of trying to make a small tweak here or there. So they know their game so well, and I think India's recent performances, especially with Shardul Thakur doing so well, I think is going to add a little bit more sting to the CSK machine. From a team fitness perspective, I think CSK would have been happy that they've got a few months of break between, for the IPL to start, because, they're an aging side and they would have been able to give their bodies some break there. But CSK, for me, is again a huge team this year. I think Dhoni has a lot to prove. And the one player I'm really looking forward to watching is Ruturaj Gaikwad. There is an experienced batting lineup around Rutu, and here's the right opportunity for a youngster like him to lead the batting unit match after match. He is somebody who I think will be an India regular in time to come and will do very well for the country. So I'm going to be watching him closely for the second half of the IPL. Let's now move to RCB, which has some of the most dedicated and faithful fans in the country, who have been waiting for years for RCB to kind of come to the IPL party, so to speak. RCB finally have made a fantastic start to this IPL, and I think they will make the playoffs. And Virat Kohli as captain would be extremely keen that RCB not only make the playoffs but go on to win the championship this year. So I think lots to look forward to. Another interesting piece is that Virat Kohli will probably continue opening the batting, because he's expressed that he would like to do that role for the country as well. So expect Virat Kohli to come in at at the top with Padikkal, which becomes a very dangerous kind of opening pair. Expect Virat Kohli to bat longer and be the fulcrum around the guys to come. And the guys to come are obviously Maxwell and ABD. So one thing is for certain, RCB will be looking to their batting unit to win games for them more than their bowling unit. But they are in my pick to make the playoffs this year. Let's talk about the Delhi Capitals. I think after MI, they seem to be the most settled and well-picked squad in the IPL. They have Chris Wokes, a player of the caliber of Chris Wokes who's missing. But that's not going to upset them at all because their overall squad has been really well put together, well thought out. I think Ricky Ponting has done a fantastic job, with picking the squad and also handling the players and handling the younger players like Prithvi Shaw. So I think Delhi are in a great position this year. They also have the best bowling attack in the IPL, if you ask me. They have the best spin combination with Akshar Patel and R. Ashwin. I think Ashwin, bowling tremendously well. So I think that's going to be a crucial kind of piece on the slow wickets in the UAE. So I think along with Ashwin and Akshar, they have Nautya, they have Rabada, Avesh. So they have 5 bowlers who can get them out of a tight spot if need be. But apart from that, I think Delhi will really be looking ahead in this tournament and harboring serious aspirations of winning the IPL this time around. Let's talk about Punjab. I think it's being saddled with their share of woes and problems. A change in name hasn't brought any change in luck. I thought their squad was very ordinarily picked at the auction. They have a couple of players who they've paid 20 plus crores for, and who didn't deliver as people thought they would, and now they're out of the tournament. So that's been dismal. I don't want to rub any salt into Punjab's grievous wounds, so to speak. But one thing is sure, they need KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal to have a fantastic opening partnership in every remaining game of the IPL. If they are going to have any sniff of making the IPL playoffs. Mayank and KL and then Nicholas Pooran, who I think is a class act. He is far too good, far too classy a player to be out in the wilderness for too long. I think he needs to kind of help himself a little bit because he's been trying to go after the bowling from ball one, and that's a strategy. It's a high risk strategy which seldom works. So I think he needs to give himself a little more time in the middle. I'm sure Coach Anil Kumble would be telling him the same thing because along with KL and Mayank Agarwal, it's crucial that Nicholas Pooran is also in great form for the remainder of the IPL. If Punjab are going to harbour any hopes of making the playoffs, they also have added Adil Rashid to the squad, and I'm sure he will bowl well because the wickets in the UAE will be slow and low. I don't think they will offer a lot of turn, but they'll definitely be slow and low, and those are conditions where in which Adil Rashid will thrive. So all in all, it's an uphill task for Punjab, but like I said earlier, the IPL is full of surprises, and you never know. If they have a winning streak, they could easily kind of be there and thereabouts for a spot in the playoffs. Let's now look at the Rajasthan Royals. They have been affected the most by injuries and then players pulling out for various reasons. Jofra Archer injured, Ben Stokes out with mental health issues, Joss Butler out, with the birth of his second baby. So it's been tough for the Royals. They've had the core of their team being ripped out. But in every crisis is an opportunity. And I genuinely feel that this is a great chance for Sanju Samson to lead from the front and to keep blazing away the way he does. But it's also a great opportunity for Yashasvi Jaiswal at the top of the order. The guys like Yashasvi and Shivam Dube, the Royals will expect a lot more from them in the remainder of the IPL. And I think Jaiswal will hopefully get into the groove a little bit, but then settle down to play some cracking innings. Rajasthan Royals have, a really kind of disciplined bowling lineup. You have Morris there, you have Sakaria there, you have Tewatia there. I think these are all guys who will bowl well. But I think there is one standard at which they will continue operating. I don't think they're going to bowl badly or bowl brilliantly. So they have a pretty settled, consistent kind of bowling lineup, which will be crucial to their hopes. But I think they are with the three pullouts of Archer and Stokes and Butler, I think the Royals are in a little bit of an unfortunate position in this IPL. Let's now look at the Kolkata Knight Riders. They are in a bit of disarray this season, with the change in captaincy, and then Morgan also, even though he's a good captain, couldn't find any form with the bat in the first half. So they have a few things to fix right now. And according to me, one of the biggest things they need to fix is they need to start batting Andre Russell up the order. If they have to have any impact on the IPL, they have to start batting him higher than what they are. I'm also looking forward to seeing Shubman Gill back. He's been out with an injury, unfortunately missed the entire England tour. But here's a player who I have a lot of time for. I think he is going to do extremely well for India in the future. So really looking forward to seeing him back. But overall, not a pretty picture for KKR, but they could certainly upset the plans of a few other teams higher up than them in the points table. I also am looking forward to seeing Prasidh Krishna and Varun Chakravarti bowl for KKR. Varun's being picked in the T20 World Cup team, and I think India will probably not play him to start off with in the World Cup. They will still keep him as a surprise element, but really looking forward to seeing him in the IPL. And Prasidh Krishna, who I think is a future India regular, will also be looked at carefully, not only by his own team but also by the Indian selectors. Let's talk about the Sunrisers for a second. They have only 2 points from 7 games. I find this absolutely hard to believe, but that's the truth. They've changed their captain midway, dropped him from the 11. Now Bairstow is out, so I think Vaughan is going to come back into the team. But I think this IPL is pretty much kind of written off for the Sunrisers, but they will be looking to finishing at least in a respectable kind of second half of the table position. And I think that's the messaging which Kane Williamson will have for his team. I think it will be all about showing personal pride and winning games. Teams like the Sunrisers, when they are right at the bottom of the table, can be really dangerous for the other sides. So it remains to be seen as to how they're going to manage the resources. But overall, I think planning for the future will be the theme at the Sunrisers. So this is my preview of the remainder of the second half of the IPL. Keep your comments coming. If you have any questions, use the hashtag #AskJatin on my Twitter account, and I'll be more than happy to reply back with my thoughts on your questions. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.